Get a pop-up. Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
Okay,
There we go.
great.
All good.
All right. Okay. So some of this information, Alex and Joan, might be handier for me to validate with Sabrina, since this is her station up at the front in the fishbowl. Hilda, I was thinking maybe I can print this information and just pop by the check with Sabrina. I know it's hard for her to commit to a call with her work, but maybe I can and do a one-on-one with her and just get her to validate some of this information. Yeah, that's good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think some of this information Joan and Alex would know, but I did want to talk to Sabrina about requisition manager anyway, so I can do all of that at once. Okay. And I see Alex is probably having someone ask her a question, but Joan, since you're still with us, we have our work queue monitor, which is like our virtual fax, and our name for it will be RHS Palliative Home Visit. I will show this to Sabrina as well when I communicate with her. We did understand that typically the type of information you received previously was something like a referral package, and we did update that to it mostly coming in via email. But Joan, to your knowledge, is there anything else that you see for the clients faxed in? I know your workflow was more, you're an expert consult, you're getting a handover from a clinician like home health. So I almost don't really picture anything else coming in by fax, but is that right?
You know, good question to ask Alex. Her desk is right in front of mine and she is talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I do see prescriptions come through every so often.
Okay.
But I think that's it.
Okay.
And then here she is, she's coming back on.
Is that like the
I was going to ask, I think we also talked about lab requisitions coming in via fax. Is that still the case? Like prescriptions and lab requisitions would sometimes come in via fax.
Yeah. Is there anything else, Alex? The referral, in terms of referral packages and the kinds of documents we'd get via fax?
Sorry,
so
one of the staff was just asking a question here. I missed the.
No problem. So we were just having a chat about what comes in current state through your fax machine for your clients, specifically for palliative home visit. Since, you know, the home health nurse is kind of the primary, not caregiver, but primary nurse for this client. Is stuff faxed in with the intent of it being received by home health? Or is there anything for palliative PCRNs to receive that we would, you know, classify as being faxed to the clinic of palliative home visit?
That's a really good question. I think it's just so intertwined that we shouldn't forego the home health fax.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if, like, obviously our physicians, if they've sent something out, they can put our home health fax. And if I, as the PCRN, wanted something specifically to come to me, then I would probably use it as well. But I wouldn't make it a standing thing for any particular document because we're so intertwined. Is that possible? I don't know.
So yeah, so just to expand a little bit on this, you guys will get a new fax number that is linked to Cerner. So the home health one, I know you guys are currently sharing together. So that one will remain with the home health. So with that said, so those documents are really meant for home health. We'll just still gonna be spitting out on paper. Whereas the one that are meant for like the palliative home visit clinic, like, you know, for any kind of referrals or lab requisitions or lab results and prescriptions and things like that, that will go into the Cerner fax number.
Yeah.
They'll automatically scan into Cerner for attachment to the chart. Would that make any difference?
Yeah. I don't think it makes a difference in terms of what I've said because my work with the patient is really nursing work, which needs to go through the nursing team. So I can't think of anything. I think the question was if there's anything like for PCRN that we would have routinely coming through, right?
Or just for your clinic.
That was the question?
For your clinic in general. So
for the physicians, like any lab work that they've ordered and then they're following up on, I imagine that would come through. So all of those, like, you're right, any kind of like response to requisitions and things that they've sent, I feel like it would be prudent to have them exclusively use this, but I can't really answer that for them. So that's
No worries.
yeah,
It's
but for
it's
us,
really, yeah, it's really just to let you guys know that like
oh,
we do
okay.
have this like application for you guys to upload files, and then we're just trying to make it easier for you guys to, or for clerks especially, right, when they are attaching those documents to the patient's chart. So we know you guys receive referral packages. If there's anything that like, you know, that is frequent faxes that does come in, we'll make sure that we kind of put them as a favorite onto your work queue, so that way it's easier for your Sabrina to search. It was like, oh, this is for lab, this is for prescription, this is for a referral, right? Instead of having to dig through to select the type, the document type for her to attach to it. So we can build them as like favorites for you guys, or have them listed so you guys easier for you to kind of find them. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So yeah, so what I heard so far, prescriptions, like requisitions, right, referrals, and lab results.
Yeah.
Or diagnostic results probably as well. I guess test results in general, right?
Yeah.
Anything else that we haven't captured that you guys do currently receive?
I think that this is not a function of this clinic,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I recall Catherine being on the call and having the same thought, is that we were low key going to use this particular fax inbox for hospice paperwork as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall that, Joan? Catherine's not here to ask, but
yeah, I don't, but then it could have just been an oversight for me.
Yeah. For the hospice one, would you not consider those as like referral packages as well?
yeah, they are, but I would like to label them as hospice referral package.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
We can look. I don't know about the different types of document types.
It's okay. I don't even know if we'll end up doing it, but because that's a PCRN specific function.
Yeah.
I could see us using this so that the packages aren't printed multiple times and lost and delayed or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's for future, I guess we could.
Okay, no worries. But let us take that back as well. If we can find something, we'll let you know. For sure, referral package is available. But if you wanted to label it specifically the hospice, I unless somebody on the call here knows, otherwise we can kind of look back to make sure that if there is one or something similar to that for you guys to select.
Yeah. And I imagine, Joan, that more of your stuff than mine would come through here, yeah?
Like long-term care? No?
No? Okay.
No, usually with long-term care, if they fill out a referral form, which I want them to do, they'll send like one, they'll fax that through.
Yeah, and then I guess the rest stays in the long-term care chart.
Exactly, and then I go and look for information as needed.
Got it. Yeah.
I do have a curiosity about the inbox though. And sorry, I know I'm not being helpful in this conversation with it because I think that I need time to be used to this and then start getting things and be like, oh, we could route that through here, or, you know. If there's a patient that doesn't have a Cerner profile and a fax comes in about them, is that a problem or no?
No, it's not a problem. Yeah. So these faxes will go to Sabrina in what we call the work queue monitor. And Sabrina sees it. She will then look for this patient. So normally they will have a name, the birthday, PHN or something, right? At least. And Sabrina looks and it was like, oh, this patient does not exist in our Cerner world currently because they've never been admitted to any Cerner site. Sabrina will just create an encounter as what I think Cynthia has demoed earlier. And then once the encounter is created, she'll just attach this file onto there, and then now everybody will be able to access that. So so this is not going to be an issue. It's just going to be part of the workflow. But those are very good questions. I know it's like just getting to know a little bit about Cerner and what we can or cannot do, right? So yeah. So please keep those questions coming.
And just to say, there are so many different document types already in the system. And what we're looking for are any that we need to add. And I don't do that. That's the document team, HIM team, I believe. But that's what we're looking for. And there's so many. So I don't
Okay.
know what the best way, if we present, Hilda, if we like present them, they're like, here's some hospice ones, here's some home care ones. I was just looking myself. Here's some prescription ones, like which ones fit, because really it comes down to what you're looking at in Power Chart and how it's categorized. I believe that's the kind of, what document type it's categorized under. So just some thoughts there. There's lots of them.
Thank you, Cynthia, for taking a look at it. Yeah, so we can kind of take a look later and kind of come up with like a few that that does kind of meet the criteria of the description. And then as a team, you guys can decide to let us know which ones would be the most appropriate one for your clinic to use.
All right, excellent. Okay, so in terms of validating the admin pool, I can liaise with Sabrina on that just to make sure I haven't missed anyone and everyone's name is spelled correctly. Alex and Joan, can I get your eyes on the clinical pool, which is our PCRNs and our provider pool? Just give me a shout if we're missing anyone or anyone's name is not spelled correctly.
Looks complete. I would get Sabrina to look at the home visit admin pool just to make
Definitely.
sure.
Definitely. Oh, I just got you muted, Alex.
Can I change my last name if it's not changed officially with VCH? Does it affect anything?
Good question. Who in this call would know that? That's like, yeah.
I just go by a different last name, like my email
Yeah.
signature, but I just haven't changed it officially with VCH is all.
Yeah, with your
It doesn't
login and
really
all that.
matter.
Yeah.
Might as well do
Yep.
it though if you're asking.
For sure.
Yeah,
I
so I
think
think
it goes
It will
with
be
your
changed
VCH
in
account
shortly.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Okay.
name has to go with your VCH account because
Sure.
everything's linked to your profile. So once you have changed your name with a VCH account, and then that can get updated.
Sure. But yeah, they all look good.
Excellent.
I was kind of wondering, Joan, if you think we should include Stacy, but probably not, eh?
Yeah, at this point, she's overlapping much less, so I think we don't need to anymore.
Okay.
I actually have a question regarding Laura, your educator. Would she be involved?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
All right. And we were actually going to validate Dr. Addo as the team lead. My guess is that she was validated for the PSM team lead, but I can always follow up with her about that. And that is for our clinic inbox that she would be the lead for.
Actually, can I clarify about Laura? I wonder because sometimes if there's quite a few folks off sick or on vacation, she sort of helps out.
Yeah.
So it would be good to add her as a pool member. Then that way she will have access to any kind of emails that is being sent to the pool, right? It does not clog up of her personal email.
Yeah.
Well, not email, message center. It serves as an email inserter, right? You know how earlier how Sarah was sending a message to Cynthia, the clerk, and then Cynthia sent it back to her. So it goes to her inbox, and then they have a pool box as well too, right? So if she's part of the pool, then anything that's being sent within your clinic pool, she'll get that message as well too, without having to add her onto it or CC her in order for her to get those messages. So yeah, so there's no issue, or you guys can decide to add her in later. So anybody can kind of opt in and opt out of these pools. So just because right now we're building it, so we will add them for you, so it saves you guys work. But later on, if Laura decides that she wants to be part of it, she can also add herself as well too. So there are different ways of doing this.
Why don't we just I'll ask her. Let me just ask her what she wants.
Sounds good.
And
so
related to what you're asking,
yeah,
Alex, would it be valuable to see if Stacy would ever want to be part of this pool if she does coverage? She hasn't, done coverage,
Mhm.
but I don't know if it's worth asking or not.
I'm just going to email both of them right now.
Sounds good. They're part of our internal email, so they are looped in on a lot of communication. So valuable to ask, I think, just in case.
I think I've spelled Stacy's name right there. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Now, in terms of end-to-end workflow, I know we kind of zoomed into our registration and scheduling workflow, but just for this session, we'll do one last view of that end-to-end, start to finish workflow to make sure we've captured everything. So the blue tiles up top kind of encapsulate what you're already doing, apart from the last tile where the clerk checks the client in at the end of the visit. And the yellow aspect is the Cerner world that gets incorporated into the care that you already give. So we've got a report that you receive from long-term care or home health clinician. You do your screening and triage and say you accept the patient. Of course, you can also be on Cerner and look for client information there. You will continue to schedule into SharePoint for the PCRN, so home health nurse can view that. And follow up to the client and their family is done by home health or long-term care, as they have that relationship with the client. We'll have an encounter created by Sabrina. Now we know it's the clerk pool that will create that encounter. And using that encounter, they book the client and provider together into Cerner. Visit happens, we assess, we talk about meds, procedures, or any other things that are needed, and create those referrals, prescriptions as needed. And of course, the Cerner chart is updated to reflect those changes in the care plan. Once back to the office, provider could chart there as well, PCRN documents in Paris, and the clerk does the check-in at the end of the day or perhaps the next morning to flip that home care encounter to that pre-home care encounter to home care, which again will automatically discharge itself at the end of that day. Alex or Joan, anything that I seem to be missing from your large scale flow there?
Yeah, you're on that side. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, okay, great. Discharge is simple, as we mentioned, automatically once it's a home care encounter that's been flipped. And of course, there is that option to print and fax a consult note or a discharge summary to that client's primary provider. So in terms of reports, I know when we spoke in our survey, there was no reports that were being run currently for this clinic, especially since it's not its own clinic to begin with, current state. But what we thought we would do is just show you some commonly used reports. Now, this might be more relevant to someone like a Catherine or maybe Sabrina, but we can still review them briefly. There's something like a billing report that can be captured. And Cynthia, I might hand it over to you just to go over the common scheduling reports, and I'll drag the slide deck here. Oh, and I just got you on mute, Cynthia.
Sorry. These, I believe, I think it's Monique that well, it'll be Catherine is the manager, and these will be more interesting, I think, for management. Well, this one in particular, this pivot report, it can pull all kinds of stats. It's not a super user friendly. You don't just click a button. There's a lot of fields to look at. You can rearrange them. You can download it into Excel. So it has a lot of bells and whistles for management to take a look at, how many patients were seen, how many patients no-showed, how many particular doctors, what their volume was, all that good stuff. So that is all in the system for the system, the pivot report. You can go to the next one. And then this is the single location schedule summary. You had mentioned that you might have some positions that don't have access to inventory organizer. If they don't, you could print this. I know we don't want to print stuff, we don't have to. But this is just a look at the slate of the day. So it can be printed as well as viewed online. The next one is the person appointment itinerary report. This can be sent out, again, maybe more, clerk front office related, but this can be sent out to the patient, or it can be handed to the patient if they're in your clinic and they have follow-up visits. Like, here's all your next appointments. So you print this out, hand it to them, and it tells them date, time, who they're going to see, just, some basic information, and then also gives preps on a different page. So it lists all their appointments up front and then gives their preps on the next page. So that's an option. And then the next one.
And Cynthia, let
Yeah.
me interrupt if I may.
Mhm.
I could see this being handy, Alex. I remember, or maybe even Sabrina saying, sometimes clients come to check and they don't know why they're here, who they're here for, and are they here maybe even on the right day. And that could be a really handy one, especially if English is not a strong suit, to have that all in writing, and especially for the clerk to know, is this the right place for them to be? Oh, just unmute, Cynthia.
I swear I clicked that. I'm sorry. This one's left in there from the transfusion areas, but because I know it has that on there, but it can be used anywhere. It's like a simple look. I believe this one's used for I want to say the lab department, or maybe a different department that may need to see information related to your appointments, or it's just, again, a really clean look. It just lists them line by line, a different schedule of the day for your areas. So there are many, many more. These are some top reports that we find users love. And again, and during training, you'll see more of these, but those are the scheduling reports.
Excellent. Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, so that wraps it up for what we need for you to confirm or validate for us regarding your clinic. Joan and Alex, are there any questions that you have for us? See you shaking head.
Not for now.
Excellent.
I think my take home is, again, small application for long-term care, but basically PCRN blocks off the block.
Exactly.
Or same thing as the joint home visits, but just for a long-term care application.
Yeah, just kind of saving your spot in the queue, then you can move on to something else and know that that slot's not getting taken by anyone else. And of course, you have that ability to see historical data in Cerner related to, going to SBCU or going to Emerge and things like that. So some handy info there. All right, so what's coming next? I know Dr. Lois is not in the meeting anymore. We'll see her training with the team in May. In terms of the clinic workshop for nursing and clerk, we're still awaiting that hard and fast date, so we will be in touch about that. And you'll see myself and Vincent in the call as your teachers, so we'll get more FaceTime with us. In terms of who to reach out for, me, Sarah, and Hilda, my manager, who you can always follow up with if you have any other questions. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. We made good time today. We paid you back a bit.
So I just got a reply from Laura.
Okay.
She thinks it might be helpful for her to be added
to the inbox. Okay.
But she wants to know if she needs to do additional training for that.
Hilda's shaking her head no.
Okay.
And Stacy, we might still wait on her response.
Yeah.
She was in that email as well.
Yeah.
Great. Hilda or anyone else from my team, anything else you need to add in before we close?
It's Dolores. I had a final comment just on the reports. I know, so we have deceased reporting on the pain and symptom management side, sort of built in Cerner. So if I know you guys are currently pulling it from the home health, but if that changes in the future, that report is now built and working. Vince has tested it, it's working. So if that changes in the future, or you want to pull it for palliative home visits, that's also something that can be done. So just wanted to comment that report will also be available for you guys.
Sure, thank you.
Excellent. Hilda, I don't see a pipe in from you, so I think you're okay. So I will arrange some time with Sabrina just to validate some more clerk specific details. But other than that, just wait for our reach out about adoption, and we'll see you guys soon.
Woo!
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all your guys' participation. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.